What makes you such a good fighter?
Um, I don't know. I'm just curious about it. I'm curious about it. It's never. I mean, it's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't think about nothing else. If that's it. I'm just curious, curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting. You know what I mean? And that is why. You know what I mean? To be truly good at something, all you've got to do is show up.
Is that not unhealthy?
Um, I don't know. Do I look unhealthy? Take a look at this physique. I'm in phenomenal shape in body and mind. To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5 in an office or in a. That's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do. And that's why I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? That's why it's become a career for me because I love it. I love what I do. So I don't think it's unhealthy. I I, I feel good in my mind. I mean it's my life. I'm enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Nobody works harder than me inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I am a workhorse. So I'm going to enjoy the benefits of this life. I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas. I'm going to get the soft top cars. I'm going to bring my whole team out. I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks, that size. We're eating every single night each. We're eating good. We're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to. I was always getting pestered. What are you doing with your life? Are you doing this, doing that? They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what MMA was. They didn't know what none of this. They didn't know I could make a career out of it. As far as they were concerned, my man and dad talking about. As far as they were concerned, I was just getting into a cage and fighting with some other.
Good morning. We're gonna get started real soon. Appreciate y'all. Just getting everything straight, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm live from the Atlanta Blockchain Center today. Good morning.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
What makes you such a good fighter?
I was always getting pestered. What are you doing with your life? Are you doing this, doing that? They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what MMA was. They didn't know what none of this. They didn't know I could make a career out of it. As far as they were concerned, my man and dad talking about. As far as they were concerned, I was just getting into a cage and fighting with some other guy. They didn't know nothing about it. No one did really, but I knew. You know what I mean? I knew. But and then I ended up getting a trade just to keep them quiet. Because I used to have a lot of fights with me dad.
What trade did you get?
I ended up getting a trade as a plumber. Literally up in the back arse and nowhere up in Wicklow, the Wicklow Mountains. And funny enough, that site was one of the biggest sites in Europe. Kilternan, right at that skiing place. Huge. And now it's just abandoned. Now it's just deserted. So I used to go up there 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I was on that M50. I used to have to walk to the N4. About half an hour from your house, wait for some Limerick guy that I didn't even know. He'd drive on the M4 and I had to flag him down. Nightmare, yeah. 2 hours down on the M50. 2 hours back, usually 14-hour days, and I was the first year, so I had to go and do everything. I had to go to the shop, I had to go and get this and get that. So I always had trouble with that, and I was like, this isn't for me. This is not for me.
How long did you last?
I lasted 18 months doing it, but it was tough, you know. Just it wasn't a life for me, you know. And then John said, because I was training with John as well at the time, and then John got in touch and says, I have a show, I'm running a show, I'd like to fight on it, and then that was it. I just packed it in, didn't show up. My dad used to come in and punch the head on me and like try to drag me out of bed, and I just wouldn't go. And I had an uproar for a good few years with him over, but and that was it. I just packed it in, quit, and then focused on training. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get here. They didn't. There's a lot of stressful years. You know what I mean, a lot of tough times. But I proved them wrong. I proved myself right. I cannot put one thing on it, John. I just love this life that I have created. I love this business. I do not. I enjoy work. I don't want to
Good
be
morning.
anywhere else.
We're about to get started in
So
the
every
next
day
1 to 2 minutes. I already know how we do.
I'm
Share this
enjoying
link
myself.
out
I
with your
wake up every
friends,
day.
your
I pinch
family.
myself.
This may be one
I
of
want to see
the
the room I'm
last
sleeping. I want to
calls
see the
before
bed I'm sleeping in. I want to see
this
the home
season
that I'm
officially
living in.
begins.
There's
You
an
want to make sure
elevator
your
in the
friends and
home.
family know
So I'm on the
exactly
tour
what's going
floor,
on.
and
So
whoever
guys,
click the button and
send
goes to
this
the
out
tour
to our
floor to the
Discord
first floor.
community.
I open
Let's
the
pack
elevator,
this call
get
out,
some breakfast,
send
and
it
then go
out,
stretch
and
out
let's
in the
continue to
sauna.
share the love.
Big pool.
Remember, sharing is caring.
Jacuzzi.
And this year,
I'm just enjoying the
we're
fruits of
going
my
up.
heart.
Let's go.
Gratitude is one of the most
Let's go.
strongest
I
forms
see the numbers
of
growing, baby. Let's
power
go.
in
Keep
attracting
sharing.
good things. You know, if you truly feel grateful for the things in your life, I always felt grateful for even the small things. I always used to celebrate the small things. Now I might be celebrating the bigger things, but I always celebrate every little good thing that would happen to me in my life, even before I had any kind of money or any of that. I would celebrate and I would feel grateful for it, and it just gave me more. And this is exactly the same thing that's happening right now. I still remain grateful, and more comes.
You genuinely could spend 3 weeks learning Zapier and learn backend.
Now we're about to get started here in the next 1 minute. Y'all already know we spend about 7 minutes on personal development. This is how we do it every week for the last almost 300 episodes. Today is episode number 293, and I'm super grateful to be here in your presence today to brace you and grace you with some of the best information, most bullish information in all of digital assets. Guys, please remember Coffee and Crypto Network, Coffee and Crypto Podcast, and Coffee and Crypto University. We do not offer financial advice. Everything on this show and all of our shows is for entertainment purposes only. It is up to you, family, for you to do the research, for you to do your own research. Dior, as most people would say, right? You want to make sure that you do your own research so that you can take this thing to the next level for you and your family. I want to say thank you for being here, and we will get started very soon. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. Let's get it.
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yes.
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say you're damn right.
I don't know how you do it. You seem immune to pressure. You got an entire nation on your shoulders, and you rise above it once again.
Yeah, I don't just knock them out. I picked around, John. Yeah, I said this. I'm sure you're probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You're probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again. And I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see, and then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're going to do and go and do it.
Speed to
When you're chasing your dream and when you're working hard, chasing something you love and completely dedicated, it just happens. You can't really
All right, let's dive in.
notice it. You know,
Let's dive
even
in.
still
Let's
to
dive
this
in.
day.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. So I will be back up on the camera shortly. All right, I'm having just to use a pun intended, but I'm having a short. I'm having a short in my camera, so I'll be back shortly on the camera. Okay, but until then, we're still going to keep this train rolling. Because you all showed up for a purpose and so did I. All right. So once I can get this camera back rolling, you all be able to see me. But until then, I'm just going to jump straight into the information because, it really ain't no need to even wait or play around. All right. So first thing is always, I've already gave the disclaimer and I want to start with some charts. Okay. I want to look at where we are in the market currently. Okay. Technicals. Okay, we really today it's gonna be heavy on fundamentals. Okay, but we are gonna start with a little bit of technicals. What's going on? Got my family on the line. What up, uncle? Got my uncle on the line on YouTube. What up? all my friends, all my family tuning in. I see y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for being here. Share this with some more family. Let them know to hop on this call because, again, this may be one of the last calls, guys. We're going into episode number 300, and I believe by episode number 300, we will be in full momentum for altcoin season. Now, I'm not talking about the peak. I'm just talking about momentum, right? And we know when we start momentum in these types of markets, right, it's a very exciting time. And if you've never been in an altcoin season before, I want to tell you to brace yourself. And the second biggest thing that I would just suggest is that you have your plan together. You cannot afford to get this altcoin season wrong. Let's just start it out that way. This is not the altcoin. I mean, this is not 2017, 2018. This is not 2020, 2021. This is not what was the other election? 2012. All right. This is not 2012, 2013. This is 2024, 2025. And we are 5 years from 2030, which means the entire world will change based by what Charles Schwab and the World Economic Forum has to say, family. Okay. So I just want you all to be prepared and make sure that you have a plan because proper preparation prevents a piss poor performance. Okay. And I could have just said poor performance, but again, all right, if you mess this one up, it might be piss poor. Okay. And that's not something that we have time for, especially when you've done all you could to build wealth through these markets. You have to get this one right. Somebody drop that in the chat box. You have to get this one right. Somebody drop that in the chat box. We need to hear it. You have to get this particular bull run correct, right? You want to be a part of certain communities, right? Oh, here we go. Camera back right on time. As soon as I start talking about the community side, right? You want to be a part of certain communities, all right? Y'all see where I'm at right now today. I'm at the Atlanta Blockchain Center inside of Buckhead, Atlanta. Okay, hopefully my camera sticks around for us. All right, it is acting up. It's all good. But I am at the ABC, the Atlanta Blockchain Center, right here in Buckhead. So, you know, if you've been looking for a physical place that you can come, you can learn with a community, with a group, and you can build, this is the place. Today is an extremely exciting time for me. All right. And excuse me for my energy being high. Okay. I'm not even off of coffee anymore this morning. I'm not even high this morning. Okay. I'm just high off of life because I'm blessed with the opportunity and I can finally announce it. But today I will be starting at the Atlanta Blockchain Center in the Immutable Founders Cohort 6. All right. This cohort will be announced officially. Make sure you all follow Atlanta Chain, the Atlanta Blockchain Center. You can find them on all social platforms, specifically Twitter, Instagram. You can find us there. You can also go over to our website, all right, which is atlantachain.io. Okay, you can go over to atlantachain.io. You don't have to be in Atlanta to keep up with it, but if you are looking to potentially be in cohort 7, which may be around the corner, and you have an idea, this is a place and a space that you can come, you can learn, you can do exactly what I did, and you too can be on your way to tokenizing your RWA, your real world asset, with your own crypto digital asset and token. Okay, so I'm super excited about today and the news that we have to share. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into some technicals real quick. I want to take a look right now. First thing I want to look at is the dollar index, and we really need to see where's the dollar at. Right? Before we even look at crypto, we need to know where the dollar is, right? It's very important to know the strength of our dollar right now. And we are still down, right? We're under that 100 mark, right? Remember that 100 mark that we marked off right here with this resistance level? We're still under there. Okay. And so right now we're sitting at about a 98 DXY, and which is weak, okay, for the dollar. But it's not extremely weak. It's not worse than it being down here at 89, right? Which it was back in 2021. So remember, y'all, history repeats itself. Okay, history repeats itself. Let's take a look at gold. Okay, gold has been bullish. It has not stopped being bullish, but we have consolidated and we went sideways and we made like this quadruple top. All right, we made this like quadruple top here on gold. This is strong enough resistance for me to believe that gold is finally about to start to see a pullback. And that's good, because if gold is seeing a pullback, you got to remember that gold and Bitcoin, as of right now, have an inverse relationship, right? We know that, but I mean, Bitcoin is up. That was in the past, but Bitcoin and gold have been up, at the same exact time based on these charts that we're looking at, right? So everything is up. So where do the roads lead right now? Okay, I've marked it off for my Thursday class. We've marked it off for our Thursday class. Typically on Tuesday, we do have a beginner's class with our Discord community taught by Sana. Can we light up and give Sana some love in the chat box for always showing up on time, ready to teach, meeting with our private students. She did a private challenge with JT. I'd highly recommend that you all get into our private coaching. JT, Jonathan Tillman, is one of the few people I've saw come in this space and say, hey, I really want to learn how to trade, Vincent. We sat down here in Atlanta. JT, I need you pulling up. I know you're getting over recovering from an injury, but I need you to pull up. You in Atlanta. I need you to pull up this Thursday, if you can, to the Blockchain Center. We're going to have a big sponsorship this weekend, this Thursday from 6 o'clock. You guys can get here about 6:30, and there'll be some food. There'll be some beverages. There'll be a lot of networking opportunities for you here in Atlanta. So make sure you pull up. And that's where I'll be this Thursday. You guys can pull up and check me out. All right. But JT, JP, Jose, I see you on the call, brother. What's up, man? Got Jose on the call, man. Everybody's here. All right. So let's get it. All right. So first thing that we got to talk about is now 1017, and we now got to dive into the SEC's website. This is a recent document that came out August the 7th. It was a litigation release number 26369, Ripple Labs Inc., Bradley Garlinghouse, and Christian A. Larson, which that's the executive team. This document talks about the SEC announces joint stipulation to dismiss appeals, resolving civil enforcement action against Ripple and two of its executives. All right, really, really bullish news for Ripple. This is something we have been waiting on for a very, very long time. XRP Army, stand up. I know you all have been waiting for this for a long time, and it's only about to get gooder. And I know gooder is not a word, but I cannot be hired nor fired these days. Okay, so we use those types of words now. Okay, now they do have to pay, looks like, a civil penalty of about $125 million, which is a lot of money. But I mean, Ripple got it. Look at all the acquisitions. It's acquisition after acquisition. Ripple has spent, from my understanding, Ripple has spent about $3 billion in acquisitions in the last 1 to 2 years, right? While they're fighting an SEC lawsuit and everything else, right? I believe that this company is bigger than what we even know. And I believe that they're like Amazon. Amazon started as a book company, right? They sold books, okay? And now Amazon, look at where they are today. When you think about these companies, companies that are coming right out of here of the Atlanta Blockchain Center, they all start certain ways. But where will they be in the next 5 to 10 years? Probably will not be the exact same company. So we have to think that as well for even a behemoth like Ripple, okay, like XRP. Okay, so shout out to the XRP Army, and shout out to Stu Alderati and the entire legal team over at Ripple, because they are the reason for this bullish season that we are about to embark on together, y'all. Okay, get your backpacks. I hope y'all got your bags packed, because it's about to be a full-blown moon mission. And I didn't say it. Brad Garlinghouse said it. Listen to this Fox Business clip.
What is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end.
I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think 200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people underestimate how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility, to tailwinds. And
what is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano
That's Brad Garlinghouse, y'all. who just had the entire, he said he's not going to comment on XRP's price. All right, that's what he said, but he will comment on Bitcoin's price. All right, that's commendable. There's some really bullish, crazy numbers out here. Okay, Michael Saylor is the most bullish of them all. All right, he's the most bullish of them all with his numbers. All right, and we'll see if it comes true. I'm not against $1 million Bitcoin. I surely am not. I don't think anybody on this call is against a $1 million Bitcoin. Chris, are you against $1 million Bitcoin? No, right? Even my dog Chris ain't against $1 million Bitcoin. Okay, so nobody is against $1 million Bitcoin unless you don't own any Bitcoin. Then I can understand the hate. All right. But until then, all right, just appreciate the excellence that's taking part in this space. Okay, this came out July 21st, 2025. Family, still new news, but almost a month old now. But it says this is from Nacha. Okay, which if you don't know who Nacha is, they deal with settlements, they deal with clearing, the clearinghouse, Nacha. Okay, same day ACH leads ACH network growth in the second quarter. I wanted to show you this because as we're talking about ISO 20022, as we're talking about XRP, as we're talking about RWAs, as we're talking about all of these different things that are actually taking place in this space, right? ACH is extremely big, and you all may not know, but clearing the ACH department, if you don't know how much they settle in a quarter, you're about to find out right now. Okay, so overall, okay, so here it is. So the ACH network recorded a solid second quarter of 5% growth. Now that may not sound like a lot, but let's look at the numbers, okay? Same day ACH payments continuing significant gains with 15% growth from a year earlier. Overall, ACH network growth continued in the second quarter with 8.7 billion payments valued at $23.3 trillion. Today, the cryptocurrency market is at esse infancy. Right, we're at our infancy, and we're only at like what, 3 trillion? I think we're like little over 3 trillion, going almost $4 trillion market. Okay, we're almost a $4 trillion market. We may have hit it with Ethereum. I don't even know. Let me take a look right now and see where we are, because ETH definitely has been exploding, and that's great news. Yeah, we're close. We're $3.97 trillion market. Okay, we're talking about 23 trillion in ACH payments alone. Right, and that's in one quarter. That's not even the whole thing. That's in one quarter, y'all. Okay, so that is huge news. Okay, in this space. And so, Vincent, why is this important? Well, let's look at this. Where has the volume increased? You want to pay attention to where the volume has increased, and are any of these solutions blockchain based? And all four of these solutions that were comparable in this particular document on their website, okay, are comparable. They've used blockchain right now. Okay, the number one, this one right here had a 9.9% increase, and this is healthcare. Okay, that's $138.2 million in the quarter of 2024. This is last year. This is even 2024. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, 5.8%, $2.8 billion. Okay, for internet. Direct deposit saw a 2.2% increase, and P2P, which is person to person, saw 21%. Person to person, decentralization saw 21% increase, $113 million in one quarter. This tells us one thing: all roads lead to blockchain, fintech, and distributed ledger technology. And speaking of DLT, I got a video coming up about that. Before we get there, I want you all to hear from Visa's CEO on their stablecoin strategy, all right, and the reason why they actually are choosing to utilize stablecoins.
Jim, payments, you need three things. You need trust, you need ease of use, and you need scale. And the reason why we have close to 5 billion Visa credentials around the world, the reason why we have 14 billion Visa tokens around the world, and the reason why 150 million merchants around the world depend on Visa to grow their businesses is because nobody does that better than Visa. And if stable coins become a mode of currency that people want to embrace around the world, we will enable that on the Visa system and scale that to those billions of endpoints. That's what you need to do well in payments. That's what Visa does better than anybody in the world.
You better pop your, he popping his ish, ain't he? He was popping off. He said, we're better than anybody in the world. Visa. All right. Visa. We're the best. All right. So it's all good, right? Everybody is looking for trust, ease, scalability. This is the playbook for payments. If you're not offering that in 2025, 2026, you're going to fall off the face of the planet. You'll be a dinosaur with arthritis, okay? No, excuse me, and I don't mean anything towards people with arthritis. I didn't mean anything by that. I know some people might get a little sensitive. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just saying, all right? That's what your bank, that's what your company will be, all right? Now, I want to run over here before we continue because we're about to dive into some RWA talk, real world assets. And y'all know today's topic of discussion, all right? The title of today's video is RWA tokenized assets will be larger than you think. XRPL, it's time. And I'm going to show you real world data right now. This is RWA.xyz. If you've been watching this show for a while, this should be something that's in your top queue. As soon as you type RW anything, this should pop up. If you really, if you're a real barista with coffee and crypto, drop those coffee emojis if you're rocking with the barista gang over here, okay? Let's get it. So right now, the global market overview for on-chain real-world assets, okay, is $25.62 billion. We're not even a quarter of $1 trillion. We're only a quarter of a quarter of a trillion. We're at a quarter of $1 trillion, right? We're so early. There's only 349,000 total asset holders, all right? There's only 259 total asset issuers based on this website. And this is real world data because they utilize Chainlink, right? If you know about Chainlink, we're going to talk about Chainlink here in a second, but they utilize Chainlink, I'm sure, or some type of Oracle. Okay, it may not be Chainlink, but I would assume it is, but they use some Oracle to bring this real world data on chain, okay? So if we're looking at the RWA space right now, private credit is killing it, right? Private credit makes up 15.6 billion of that 25 billion, okay? US Treasury debt makes up 6. Commodities only make up 1.9, and everything else from stocks, corporate bonds, non-US government debt, everything else falls below that other bar, right? So we are so early in the space. And so speaking of commodities, we only have 1.9 billion. I have some news coming up on one of these slides that's actually going to talk about how Chainlink will be bringing commodity data on chain. See, the thing is, the data's not on chain yet. That's all. Once the data is on chain, these numbers are going to increase in value. Okay. So I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is the RWA league table. This is for the big bosses only. Okay. Somebody drop big boss only in the chat box. Okay. This is for the big bosses only. Okay. Top 10. Okay. Now, Ethereum obviously sitting at number 1. Okay. It's sitting at number 1. Okay. Can't doubt it. It's undeniable. Okay. However, one thing you want to pay attention to is the market share. Okay. This is very important because on the RWA.xyz, it shows that Ethereum's market share is down 55%, meaning RWAs were starting to open up and build on other platforms as well. It used to be Ethereum dominant back in 2021, 2022, when I used to go to this website. Ethereum was really the only one on here. It really wasn't nothing else, right? Barely. Okay. But we look and we see some things. Now, Ethereum has RWA count, it says 319. I don't even know who this is right here, number 2. I'm gonna be honest with you. ZK Sync Era. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure somebody on this call may know. Educate me, please. Okay, Aptos comes in at number 3, Solana's number 4, Stellar number 5, Polygon number 6, Arbitrum number 7, Algorand, which we expect number 8, Avalanche number 9, and number 10, y'all already know, XRP. Now, check this out. With XRP Ledger, over the last 30 days, I want y'all to pay attention to it. The protocol, the network's percentages for the RWA is up 52%. It's the only one. Most of them are down. XRP Ledger is up 52% on the RWA website. Real world asset tokenized in one place. Guys, this is extremely bullish for Ripple, and I want you all to stay plugged in. Another thing that I want you, I'm gonna click directly on Ripple. Right now, Ripple only has $180 million in RWA value. That's nothing. That's chump change. We not even at $250 million. We still not at $250 million, even for Ripple. So that should show you how early we really are, right? So RLUSD, which is Ripple's stablecoin, okay? RLUSD, real USD, makes up 85.9 million of the total value, okay? It's up 30%, okay? 30%, okay? So I want you all, I just want to pay a little attention to this RWA space because it is extremely important. Now, looking at where we're at right now, shout out to the digital asset investor. The S&P 500 of crypto, okay, is on the way. And we are being proven that right now, okay, with the head of digital asset research, at Vanek Enterprises, Matthew Siegel, okay, we are about to listen to what he has to say about this space.
If we do get an altcoin season, then something like a Coinbase Top 50 ETF. They have this new index, Coin 50, which is powered by VanEck's Market Vector indexing subsidiary. Lots of folks want to bring that ETF to market. We still need some clarity from the SEC on the tax implications of staking in order to kind of be fully cleared for launch for a product like that. But that could be very interesting for institutional investors who like diversification and want an S&P 500 of crypto. If we do get an altcoin season, then...
So the S&P 500 of crypto, family, we are about to see this space completely take off. Can somebody drop XRP to the moon in the chat box? Somebody drop XRP to the moon. Somebody drop crypto to the moon, matter of fact, because the S&P 500 of crypto is going to be bigger than what anybody could even fathom. All right. We can't even speak about how big this is about to be. Now, you can expect a boatload of crypto ETFs to come to the market within the next 2 months, including XRP and HBAR ETFs. Pay attention, family.
Speaking of crypto, Nate, similar to the push to market we're seeing in IPOs, you're seeing a lot of what you call a boatload of crypto ETF filings. What does that mean, and how does that differ from what we've seen in the past?
Well, it's interesting because the 3 major stock exchanges, so NYSE, NASDAQ, and CBOE, they have all filed with the SEC for generic listing standards for crypto ETFs, which basically means that the exchanges wouldn't need to seek specific approval for each spot crypto ETF as long as it meets certain criteria. So this would streamline the approval process. And that's important because right now there are filings out there from multiple issuers for XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs, Cardano, HBAR. We could go on down the list, but there are a boatload of filings out there. And the expectation is that the standardized crypto framework will be implemented, say, in the next 2 months or so. So if and when that happens, I think you're going to see the floodgates open. We're going to see a wave of approvals, and you're going to see, again, a boatload of new crypto ETFs coming to market.
Man, listen, take a lap. Sheesh. Hey, and today, I ain't gonna lie. I want y'all to see my pants today. Look, I want y'all to see my pants today. Who got on my pants? We got on Jordan. Hey, listen, I'm feeling like it's a championship on the way. You know what I mean? We got championship rings on the way. We got Michael Jordan on the pants today. Let me take a lap. Good God. Good God. It's up. What up, bro? Man, it is up, man. It's up, bro. How the XRP treating you, bro? Yeah. We up, bro. We rolled that thing up. Hey, it's up, y'all. You know what I mean? I had to take a lap. Somebody in the group said, take a lap, brother. Take a lap. All right. Let me play this one more time for the people that just I saw a couple people just jump on the YouTube channel. Let me play this one more again for the people that just jumped on.
Speaking of crypto, Nate, similar to the push to market we're seeing in IPOs, you're seeing a lot of what you call a boatload of crypto ETF filings. What does that mean, and how does that differ from what we've seen in the past?
Well, it's interesting because the three major stock exchanges, so NYSE, NASDAQ, and SIBO, they have all filed with the SEC for generic listing standards for crypto ETFs, which basically means that the exchanges wouldn't need to seek specific approval for each spot crypto ETF as long as it meets certain criteria. So this would streamline the approval process. And that's important because right now there are filings out there from multiple issuers for XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs, Cardano, HBAR. We could go on down the list, but there are a boatload of filings out there. And the expectation is that the standardized crypto framework will be implemented, say, in the next 2 months or so. So if and when that happens, I think you're going to see the floodgates open. We're going to see a wave of approvals, and you're going to see, again, a boatload of new crypto ETFs coming to market.
Let's go. Boatload of new crypto ETFs coming to market. All right, that means XRP, that means HBAR, that means Solana, that means, man, it's about to be so many. Even XDC has applied for some spot work with the SEC, right? So guys, I've covered this stuff time and time again, and we're about to see it happen before the year ends. I promise you. All right, everything we've said on the show, you guys can go back. 293 episodes. We are almost at 300 episodes. 300 episodes. We're doing the coffee lunch, y'all. We got coffee on the way at 300. I'm about to give y'all coffee to drink. You ain't got to drink. You don't need Starbucks no more. You got coffee in crypto. You know what I mean? Drop some coffee in the chat box just for that, man. Light me up one time, man. Just light it up one time, man. You don't need Dunkin' Donuts no more. You got coffee in crypto, man. Let's get it. All right. So it's up. All right. So real quick. This news came out August the 11th. It's fresh off the press. Hey, this fresh off the press. We keep it fresh, all right? Chainlink and ICE. If you don't know who ICE is, I ain't talking about the people that's going throughout Gwinnett County and throughout, I ain't talking about the immigration people. All right. I'm talking about ICE. All right. ICE is it's basically one of the largest, it's the Intercontinental Exchange. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth. Intercontinental Exchange Incorporated, okay? This is the largest high-quality FX and precious metals. They cover everything, okay? ETFs, ICE is up there on Wall Street, okay? Now, Chainlink is collaborating with ICE to bring high-quality Forex and precious metals data on chain. Good God. This is about to go crazy. This news just came out. Let's read up on this a little bit. Okay. The high quality FX and precious metal rates from ICE consolidated feed will serve as a contributor to the derived data set that Chainlink data streams provided to 2,000 plus applications for leading banks, asset managers, and infrastructure in the Chainlink ecosystem. With the demand for tokenized real-world assets expected to reach $30.1 trillion. Family, hold on. Let's go back real quick, because I don't want y'all to miss what I just said. It's expected to reach 30 trillion. We're only at 25.62 billion. Good God. That all right. So there's like 1,000x, 10,000. I don't even know how many zeros come after the one. but there's that many 0x, all right, on the way. Because we're sitting at a $25.62 billion worldwide on-chain price point right now. That's where we're sitting with the market, okay? And we're headed to 30 trillion. Okay, we're at 30 billion a day. We're headed to 30 trillion. We taking the B and we putting the T on that thing. Okay, well, there's significant opportunity for forward-looking institutions to establish leadership in the digital asset space. Family, don't worry. We are just early. Never worry. We're just early. That's it. Okay. All you got to do is just stick around a little bit longer. You've been here long enough. You've been here this long anyway. Why not just stick around just a little bit longer? All right. Well, I want you to hear from the CEO of Hedera Hashgraph, Lehman Baird, as he talks about blockchain and distributed ledger technology and some of the use cases that are being presented right now that he thinks are very important.
DLT does these three things. And what would you use it for? Well, you use it for a million different things. You could use it for a stock market. You could be buying and selling stock that has been tokenized using your cryptocurrency or dollars that have been tokenized. You could use it for auctions. So everybody submits their bids and their asks to, or their bids to an auction, and whoever submits first and has the best price wins and gets the thing. You could use it for something like a patent office, where the first person to file a patent gets the patent. You can use it for games. There's lots of use cases for a ledger. People have said hundreds or thousands of use cases for ledgers. I think they're going to change the world. I just gave 4 examples, though. And these 4 examples have something interesting in common. Not every usage does, but these 4 have something in common in that the order matters. If you are in a stock market and you are trying to bid on a stock and someone else is bidding on a stock, if you bid first, you should win. If you both bid the same price, if you bid first, you should win. If they bid later, they should not. So you want to make sure the order is right. In fact, it is so important. People will spend hundreds of millions of dollars to shave a few milliseconds off of submitting transactions to a stock market. Order matters a lot. Or if you're playing the game, if you shoot me and I dodge, we care which one happened first. Did I dodge first and you missed? Or did you shoot first and you get a point? In an auction, it's the same thing as with the stock market. Who put it in first? In the patent office, it's first to file. Who filed first? There are a number of use cases where the order matters, where we care about the order a lot. In fact, if the New York Stock Exchange allowed certain people to manipulate the order of all the bids and asks, nobody would use it. It has to be fair. Now, in the New York Stock Exchange, you have to trust one company to make it fair. The point of ledgers is that you don't have to trust any one person.
Wow. Okay.
DLT does.
So for new people, right? I know we have a lot of our YouTube channel has been actually picking up. And I want to say thank you to everybody. I know this call's at 10 a.m., 10 to 11. And a lot of you all are at work while you're tuning in. You're trying to get this information. Some people rewatch this. Just make sure you smash the thumbs up so other people can, discover this channel, discover this video. I work very hard to put this information together in an organized way so that you all can understand it, because it can be a lot of noise. I've been in this space long enough, since 2018 now, where, and this is all I do, right? All I do. Some people are builders in the space. They don't have time to research everything. I'm a researcher in the space. I took my master's degree. I have a master's in public health. I left medical school to chase entrepreneurship. I sit down and I do research like I'm a freaking physician. Okay. Like this is how PhD level research is what we put together here at Coffee and Crypto. And that's what we'll always do, because we only get better and better. Y'all have watched this show grow. Y'all watched me grow. And I just ask that y'all just stick around a little bit longer, because things are about to get gooder, like I like to say. Okay, let's continue to move forward. So meanwhile, on Wall Street, okay, investors are betting big on Circle as the real potential for USDC stablecoin adoption, and cross-border payments and remittances is drawing in large market interest. Being reflected in the charts, The opportunity is here, family, for stable coins. Okay. And I'm gonna play this quick clip from one of the executives over at Circle, Mr. Owen Liu.
And do in this market. There are a couple of areas that they can do. First one, cross-border payments. The second one, remittance. The third one, capital markets. The fourth one, consumer payments. Some of these TAM could take some years, maybe 3-4 years to materialize. But for the remittance and cross-border payment, it could become a reality in the near term.
So we just got some news last week, I believe, in the last few days about Remitly, the remittance technology company, also embracing USDC as stable coins. Why will Circle benefit in particular? How much of that benefit is there to go around inside the fintech space?
Yeah, this is one of the good examples that you see the further adoption of USDC in the cross-border payment space, right? So, I mean, the TAM is still pretty large in this space. Probably we are talking about like $1 trillion of TAM here. And I don't think Remitly it's just a one-off thing. There will be more and more partnerships with other companies and more companies, not just cross-border payment companies, but also traditional finance companies to adopt USDC to facilitate payment as well. So to me, the opportunity is here. It will just take time to build up this infrastructure going forward. I think that's the key thing. More value here compared to Circle. So that's why we have an outperform rating on Coinbase. If you look at the stock performance going into the print, I think that's one of your questions. Actually, Coinbase also had a great momentum going into the print, but the stock kind of like crashed after the print because the expectation was quite high. And I'm not saying a Circle will have a bad performance tomorrow, but you can tell the expectation is quite high already, trading at 50.
Okay, so I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Can y'all still hear me? Drop a 7 in the chat box. Drop something in the chat box if you can hear me. So to make sure that my mic didn't go out or anything crazy. Bless you. Make sure my mic didn't go out on y'all. All right, 7. All right, cool. So we locked in. Okay, so I wanna cover this because this is a big argument. This is a big discussion throughout the XRP space. Whether XRP has anything to do with ISO 20022. And I found mixed reviews, and I have to be honest and say I really don't know the answer. That's why I've kind of backed off over the years of talking about like always saying XRP and ISO, putting them in the same. We used to do that a lot in like 2018, 2019, 2020. We used to do that a whole lot, right? Every conversation about XRP was dealt with ISO, right? I told you all that, I mean, like I was in XRP in 2018. I bought it on the beach, San Diego, California. First price was 14 cents. Okay. So I've been in XRP for a very long time. I mean, long enough for me. Okay. And I've heard a lot about the asset. I've watched a lot. I've watched a lot of things change, right? Some of you all, if you're buying XRP for the first time at $3, $2, $1.50, whatever, right? You are witnessing a transformed XRP. You're witnessing something that is upgrading very fast. This is not what it used to be. Okay. So I want to read what Jake Claver had to say because, I mean, to me, Jake is pretty knowledgeable. He's working with a lot of wealthy people. He even has a way, from my understanding, for people to be able to earn yield on their XRP if you're an accredited investor, right? It's a lot to it, okay? So I want to hear what he has to say. So he says, before any other cryptocurrency, XRP prioritized something most of the industry overlooked. He said ISO 20022 compliance. Today, that decision pays off as the network processes more than 434 billion in transactions every day. ISO is one of the most significant advantages in modern finance, yet it's still misunderstood by much of the crypto space. Many projects focus on building technology without addressing how to connect with the existing financial system. ISO 20022 provides that bridge. the world's largest banks have already been using this standard. Well, we know that as of July, okay, July what was the date, y'all? Was it the 4th? I think it was, or the 5th? It was one of those dates. It might have been the 14th, but one of those dates in July, we know that the Federal Reserve made it a mandate for all U.S. banks to go live with ISO. So now all U.S. banks are ISO compliant now, okay? November the 24th is the final date for the entire world. There will not be any more pushback dates from my understanding. So we are a few months away from the entire world being on this compliance standard for global messaging. Okay, this global messaging allows financial institutions to communicate in the same language. Okay, think about it. You try to go to China and speak to a Chinaman, he's not going to know what you're saying, just like you don't know what he's saying. But if you all had one type of language, which, that language is currency, we all understand doing your fingers in the money form, right? Give me my money. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows what a dollar is. So the dollar is a universal language within itself. Okay, ISO 20022 makes the dollar, makes this more of a digital global language that everybody can speak, meaning everybody, meaning institutions, okay? It enables true interoperability, making it possible for systems worldwide to connect and exchange information without friction. Ripple is positioned to play a central role in tokenizing traditional financial systems, an opportunity measured in the tens of trillions of dollars. This goes far beyond payments, all right? XRP could serve as the infrastructure banks use to tokenize and transfer massive volumes of assets, enabling faster settlements, lower costs, and greater interoperability. Right now, somebody had something to say to Jake, this guy right here. He said, XRP is not ISO 20022 compliant. There's no such thing, blase, blase. And this guy calls himself the CEO of the XRP ledger. I think he is the CEO of the XRP ledger, matter of fact. He don't just call himself that. But he's the CEO of the XRP ledger, or maybe he just calls himself. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, so he's the guy who created Casino Coin. Okay. If y'all don't know what Casino Coin is, this is a technology that we've been invested in for a very, very, very long time over here at Coffee and Crypto. Okay. However, if we take a look, at what he had to say, if we take a look at what he had to say, that's cool. But then I went down and I went to Vincent Van Code. And y'all know, man, it's something about them Vincents, man. All right, it's something about the Vincents. But Vincent Van Code on Twitter, he always puts it eloquently, okay? He was said, I will give you 100 XRP if anyone can provide online documentation that shows that blockchain uses ISO 20022 messaging standard. I am not talking about news articles or otherwise. I want blockchain documentation showing it from the official site, not cryptogurutrader.com. And just FYI, Ripple and RippleNet, he said it, Ripple and RippleNet has APIs that use the ISO 20022 standard, but Ripple is not a blockchain. Now, let's click on Ripple. Look at this right here. It's called the Standard RippleNet Payment Objective, or SRPO, a set of fields that must be specified by RippleNet members while sending payment information. If y'all look right here, it says, RippleNet Payment Objective supporting information schema aligns to the ISO 20022 pack. This is on Ripple website, family. It don't get no better than this. This is directly on their website. As such, each property of the JSON schema shares the same naming convention at the equivalent ISO 20022 definition. The framework in alignment with ISO 20022 enable interoperability with the variety of RippleNet members and their back office systems. Okay, so who are the RippleNet members? Okay, well, Vincent, let's just dive in a little bit more. Okay, let's go look at the RippleNet members. Okay, let's look. RippleNet members. Let's see if we can find them in one organized sweep. I don't think it should be too hard. All right, RippleNet. Here we go. RippleNet. Okay, let's scroll down. Here goes some of them. Okay, meet our customers. Okay, here we go right here. Okay, you got Tranglo, you got SBI Remit, you got Banco Rendimento, you got Neum, you got Lemonway, you got Onafreak, which is in Africa, you got DZ Bank, you got, we can just let it continue to scroll through. Okay, look at all this Modular. You have all these companies. There's so many, right? There's so many. Okay, Navati, okay, Saab. You all know this. Saab is a huge bank in the Middle East, okay? Who else is a part of this? You got ArchX, you got TravelX, okay? Everybody is a part of and plugged into the Ripple ecosystem, okay? So I just wanted to, put that out there for anybody that has anything to say about whether ISO 20022 is a standard with Ripple and if XRP, listen, it's right here. It's right here in the documentation, family, right? I didn't have to go out here and make anything up. Okay. I didn't have to make anything up. Now, before we end, because I do got to end this call soon. Okay. I do have to end soon because we're about to start our cohort. Okay. However, I want to just spend the last 3 minutes talking about this. Vivo Power, which we talked about, their shares jumped 32% as the $100 million Ripple buy plan to boost their XRP treasury. So the fact that they even announced $100 million XRP treasury for their company, their stock jumped 32%. All right. That's the same thing that we saw happen over at MicroStrategy, right? So it is safe to say that potentially a digital asset treasury may be good for a company's health, even as the company on the stock market. That builds value in the company. Now, I want to show y'all what Crypto.com dropped about an hour ago. This fresh, hey, somebody drop some coffee. This is fresh out the pot, man, fresh brew. You know what I mean? This fresh brew right here. You know what I mean? This hot out the pot right here. Vivo Power selects Crypto.com as a partner to support digital asset treasury strategies. Crypto.com. Vivo Power selects Crypto.com as their partner to support their digital asset treasury strategy. This is extremely bullish information. Now, through the Crypto.com platform, shareholders will also benefit from superior liquidity for XRP and other digital assets, as well as access to upcoming XRP restaking via Flare. Oh my goodness. OMG. The news is just getting heavy, okay? The news is getting heavy, family, okay? So, with that being said, okay, we are finally ending this lawsuit. Everything is over with, family. And I just want to say I'm extremely proud and I'm excited that we've stuck this journey out for the last couple of years. I'm grateful that y'all have rolled with me on this journey, and I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to everything that's to come. If y'all have any questions, y'all already know y'all could tap in with our Discord community. We are giving 3 free days in our Discord for Coffee and Crypto. You can click the link in our bio to gain access to that 3 free days. And then the last announcement that I do have for you all is very simple. That announcement is we have a major boot camp that's coming up. We're going to be doing it at the Bookstore Gallery. Okay. This is going to happen in 2 Saturdays from now. So we will be live. I'll be doing a 4-week crypto boot camp at the Bookstore Gallery. Okay. A 4-week crypto boot camp at the Bookstore Gallery in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. You guys will be able to plug into that. I want to get y'all the exact date on that boot camp. That's going to be on Saturday the 23rd. So we'll be meeting Saturday the 23rd, Saturday the 30th, September the 6th, and September the 13th. Those will be 4 Saturdays in a row. And if you're looking and if you're in Atlanta and you want to dive into crypto and get invested in this space properly and securely before we get started, okay, before we get started, family, with the bull run, you want to go ahead and you can reach out. I'm sorry, one second. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. So just we got one more what was I saying? Oh, boot camp. The boot camp, y'all. Just please sign up for the boot camp, please. If you're interested, and if you're interested, you can reach out to me. Let me get y'all my direct phone number so that you guys can reach out directly to me. It's going to be 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. I now have to get going. We're about to start our cohort 6 boot here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. Thank you all so much. And I will see y'all on the next episode, which will be episode number 294. Shoot. All right, we have 6 episodes away from 300 after that. And remember, y'all, if you're in the Atlanta area, we will be doing a massive pop-up on episode 300, launching the coffee, launching the brand will be a major celebration at 300. And I look forward to seeing each and every single one of y'all. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. And I hope each and every single one of you all continue to stay locked in on this space, because I believe we are about to see some numbers like never before. See y'all in the next one. Peace.